WOKB, Winter Garden, Orlando.
You've just tuned into Women, Wisdom, and the Word with your hosts,
Pastor Tehila,
Minister Tamara Murray,
Minister David Williams,
Minister Bridget Norvell.
and remember, you can never overdose on wisdom.
Good afternoon, Central Florida. How are you today? We are back and welcome to our show, Women, Wisdom, and the Word. Yes, we are back. This is Minister Bridget Norvell, and we have the crew here around the round table ready to go over our conversation from last week.
Yes,
so let's do the roll call. Who we have in the studio?
Hey, Central Florida, Pastor Tehila.
Okay.
She's busy taking
I'm
photographs.
here. Hello, Central Florida. This is Minister Tamara.
Hello, Central Florida. This is David. Hope you enjoyed the radio broadcast today.
Yes, it was pretty heated last week, and I think I see
Yes, it
Pastor
was.
have her Wise Women book ready and everything.
Yes.
Last week, where did we leave off at? And at the 30 minutes of the hour, we're going to have open up the lines at 407-894-1680. That's 407-894-1680. Lock it in, because we will be opening up the lines for your comments, for your questions. But we're going to talk about, last week we left off on preparing to be a wife. It is a soul retreat that's happening August 23rd through the 26th. For more information, go to preparingtobeawife.eventbrite.com. That always throws me off. Preparingtobeawife.eventbrite.com. Once you go on there, you will see some information about it. Our soul retreats, we close out, we rent a home, a vacation home. This time it's going to be 7 bedrooms, and what we're going to do is, like we always do, minister to you. There's from ministering to delivering, to praise and worship, to cooking, to eating, fellowshipping. You can spend the night, you can go home, you can stay at another hotel. But the thing is, it's to get you prepared to be a wife,
Yes.
prepared for the things in life. Our last soul retreat was just dealing with the soul. Valentine's Day, we did have a soul retreat where it was the love portion, and we were all laid out in love with God and intimacy. And Pastor came and talked about the bloodline. What a great way of, ended out the soul retreat. But this one, you're really going to love it. So there were some questions last week we left off at, and I think we had some situations that there were women that were not looking at red flags, and yes, we want to continue with that. And another thing too about women, that I had a situation that a woman that had her husband fooling around and still married, and it's just so much. But go ahead, Pastor.
Well, I mean, last week we had people that were calling in, and they had these situations, and they were wondering, do I stay in it? Do I leave? What do I do? Well, I as I said last week, I think the Word of God should govern us, how we make decisions, how to live for God. The Bible tells us that darkness and light, cannot mix. So if you truly, truly want to follow God and be a woman of God and raise up your family in the fear of God, then you cannot mix. You cannot mix. You cannot have a boyfriend, or as someone said, what was it? There was with someone for a long time, and and they saw these things that were not good in them. The red flags. It's amazing that even at the marriage enrichment fellowship, we spoke about red flags.
Yes, let's talk about that. And that, I think that was like a kickoff to the soul retreat.
Yes,
because it was so awesome. Let's get some input of Pastor this weekend had a marriage enrichment fellowship.
Yes.
awesome, awesome. Now I have to say, I have to blast her out there. Pastor did cheat.
No,
As usual.
Pastor
no, I didn't.
No, you improvised and
Yeah.
you were researching.
Yes.
Okay.
And it was an open book. You forget that.
Yes.
The whole thing.
I have to watch Pastor all the time. You know?
No, I was improvising. I was comparing and contrasting.
Yes.
I was, you know.
Let me explain to you what she was improvising. See, Minister Tamara, what was it? It was a game we were playing.
Well,
and
we were trying to do something
You guys,
systematically.
you are so bad. I
We
wouldn't
had
do
the
this to me.
husbands, yes, the husbands in one area and the wives in another, and we wanted to see just how much we know about each other.
Well, the
husband
women
and
did cheat
wives.
a little bit.
no, wait. I got
David
to
did.
put Minister David out there.
David, come on
How
now.
many times did he come and get some water?
Oh no!
And he had to get. I mean, he was over on the other side, on the women's side, a lot. For
I mean,
someone
he
that
came
was-
around the corner looking like the Pink Panther.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh my,
Well,
my.
the thing about it is nothing wrong with a man wanting to know where his woman is at.
You see,
She was
me and
right in the
David,
living room.
we had the right mind,
Uh-huh,
mindset.
Yes.
You know, we improvised. We did what we did. So
And we're talking about the soul retreat that we had this weekend. It was
well,
now.
the marriage
I'm
enrichment.
sorry, forgive
Yeah.
me. The marriage enrichment. We have so many things going on, and they're all so good. But this was the marriage enrichment, and we had married couples. We had couples that are engaged. We had those that are looking to be married on at the fellowship,
Yes.
and it was very interesting. There were some interesting results. There were some couples that knew everything about each other,
Yes,
and then
yes.
there were some couples, we won't mention any names, that their spouse knew practically everything. They were in the dark.
Men, I will tell you, until you get in a situation, you do not know as much about your woman as you
Yes,
think.
yes. Saturday was really interesting, and Pastor,
no,
So we want to tell them exactly what we did. We asked questions.
Yes.
For example, what is your husband's waist size?
okay.
What is your wife's shoe size?
Yes, and the other question was, what did he like to eat, and what's
and his favorite color.
and his favorite color?
And I got
what
that
was
one
his
right.
What? That was 1 out of 14.
Yes, after she researched it. She researched Pastor researched a few questions, and
Yes.
then the bra side, I think a lot of men said that they plead the fifth
Yes.
on
Yes.
the bra size, but it was great.
Yes.
I told the gentleman, and my name is Yvonne. We had told them that we had to plead the fifth if they didn't know. But some of the questions that we had, I thought were so difficult. Where you met her, what time, what place, what was the situation or circumstances.
What's difficult about
Yeah,
a question like that?
yeah.
Okay.
Well, when you
Let
say
me introduce-
circumstances.
Wait, 1 moment. You just came on in. We have to introduce you. We do have someone that stepped into the studio. Can you give your name, please?
My name is Brother Yvonne Hammond.
Okay.
And I'm just here to shed
Drum
some
roll,
light.
please.
Well, thank you so much. That was so gracious of you. But I just wanted to share some light on that because that enrichment was so well put together in the little game that we did. Do you really know her is what I called it on the title. And it was some questions that it was pretty interesting. Me being single, I was like, wow, I didn't know I need to know the bra size. I didn't need to know.
Oh yeah, you need to
certain
know
things.
that.
But there's some good questions there as far as what did she like to eat. Like I said, there was the second question was a 3-part question: what place, what time, and what were the circumstances. And I had to describe that to each fellow. I had to explain to them, what's the circumstances? Did you see her walking down the street and you said, "Ooh, I want to talk to her"?
See,
What
women
is
pay
that?
attention to things like that.
Yes.
Well, all the women
Actually,
answered that
Yeah.
with no problem. The guys had to really sit back
Except
and think.
me.
But don't be fooled. We know how we met you. We know what we saw.
And I have to say that they did know.
Yeah,
They
including
knew the time
Can you
and the
imagine?
place.
He knew exactly.
Yes.
And
Elder is different.
Yes.
Oh
Okay.
no,
Most
you
of
guys,
them
what
No,
you
most of the
mean?
men knew, but
Most
they had to
of them-
dig deep. They had to dig
Yes.
deep, and sometimes we don't want to go as deep. Sometimes it might come off as being weak, and that's what society says. That you can't. You don't want to be too emotional. You want to have that hard exterior out there. So for me to say, well, I saw her in the grocery store and it was like, she was beautiful, or
That
I
false
met her in
sense of
church.
ego.
Right.
Yes, that false
Exactly.
sense of ego. But this is what, and that was just a kickoff. So if you missed it, you don't want to miss preparing to be a wife.
And we do the marriage enrichment. We do that a few times a year, don't we, Pastor?
Yes, yes.
So if you missed this one, it's okay. We're going to have another one. And so you guys get ready. We'll announce it, when it's time for that.
Yes. Now, ladies, we're going to now jump into this retreat and what we're going to be talking about, what we're going to be teaching. And the teacher is here.
No, I mean,
Yes, and we have other people that's going to come in. Pastor, you talked about the laundry. Why is it important? Why is it important for women to know how to do laundry?
well, I mean, that's one of the biggest things in the household. One of the biggest chores in a household, and that is laundry. So we need to know how to deal with it. How to make sure that what colors and
Yes, I know
how
some women that have
often-
perfected the skill of tie-dye. They know how to tie-dye
Yes.
dark clothes.
yeah,
That sound like what men do.
yeah. But and you know what the thing about me, I have a particular way of doing my laundry.
Okay.
There's a particular way. There's a way that I like. My whites to really be white.
Yes.
You see,
Yes.
and I like my clothes to come out clean. Now I've noticed that when I have like guests or visitors, people that come and stay with me and they want to help, and they put the laundry in the washing machine, it comes out dirty. They've put too much.
And we don't know. And we don't know that.
Yeah, you
know?
need to be taught.
Yes. And my grandmother always said, and we were brought up different. We never can put the towels with regular clothes.
That's right.
We never put our sheets with
With
regular
regular
clothes.
clothes.
Exactly.
And we separate, and we
Even
don't.
even our smalls, which means our intimate, your panties and bras and things like that, they were done, or they're supposed to be done separately because the wash cycle, is separate.
Okay.
So all these things, they seem to be common sense, but common sense is not common sense to
Now,
everyone.
question:
Common
Would
sense
you
is not common practice.
Okay, thank you,
It's not common
thank you.
would you wash your husband clothes with your clothes?
Depending on what it is, depending on what it is, we wash, his boxer shorts and with my things, my intimate, my
Apparel.
Yes.
Okay.
And all that. I can wash that together. But there's certain things that I do not even laundry at home. For instance, his shirts. I have to take that to the dry cleaners.
Okay.
Because shirts, they need to maintain their shape and the collars and everything else. So when you take them to the dry cleaners, they have a way of laundering them. So yes, there are certain things that I would wash together with mine. For instance, jeans.
Okay.
I mean, I would wash my jeans and his jeans. But I'm particular about washing my husband's things with the children and the rest of the household.
Okay.
So I'm particular about that because I don't want to mix them. I don't want to make a mistake. So at all times, I do our laundry separately. My boys do their own laundry, and I do my daughter's her own laundry, and we don't mix it up.
I like that. I like that because there are going to be women that has children and might not know that. And another thing that I wanted to ask you, maybe if you are financially challenged at that time, you get
Yes,
married,
yes.
and you don't have the money to put the husband's shirts in the dry
It's
cleaner.
not
What
that
can you do?
expensive. I'm telling you, it's not that expensive because you would go and get a McDonald's a burger. It's less than that now. You shop around for a very good
That's
dry
true.
cleaners. It's
That's
not
true.
that
That's
expensive.
true.
It really is. You know what? It's just about priorities. What is your priority, right? And what are you willing to spend time and money on? And especially when you visit a certain establishment regularly. You'll be able to put your clothes in and then pick up a few. Then you come back and you pick up a few more and so forth. So there's something else as well that we wanted to just let our listeners know.
Yes.
You know, we're going to be looking at a wide range of subjects.
Okay.
You know, and I remember last week we were discussing with Minister Tamara, and we're looking at things also like biological clock.
Okay.
You know.
Can we hold that? I'm going to make some announcements. We're going to go to a quick 2-minute break, but I'm going to make some announcement. We're going to stay right there. Now, I want you to grab your pen and papers. This is going to be pretty fast, but we will mention this again at the end of the show. June 2nd, removing the mask, going behind the veil. Please contact Minister Annette for more information. 724-630-8372. That's removing the mask. You don't want to miss this. Dealing with those issues of unforgiveness. Contact Minister Tamara. It will be at Pastor's house. Yes, there will be food like always. 724-630-8372. Then June 16th, we have Daughter of Purpose and Removing the Mask, First Ladies Night Out. Come out and enjoy being a First Lady. 7 p.m. Capitol Grill Restaurant. Reserve, RSVP. You can contact us at 407-434-1141 to reserve your space. That's 407-434-1141. Also, June 16th, Pastor LaRue. If you know Pastor LaRue, she was with Faith World. She was with Benny Hinn. She has opened up a council for you praise and worship, dance leader, bass drums, voice, sound, everyone that is out there that want to perfect that inside worship and know what true worship is. Please contact her at LaRueLive.com. That's LARUE live.com. She has started a worship leader association. We will be right back. We're going to talk about what Pastor just said, and we're going to open up the phone lines to find out too, what is it that you want to learn? How do you want to prepare to be a wife? We'll be right back.
Gospel 1680 WOKB.
You know that the ice cream scoop has the power to make a child smile, and that by slowing us down, the traffic light can keep us going. You know that the golf tee brings friends together, that the mailbox keeps them connected. You know that the cataract laser helps you look to the future, while the pacemaker ensures that there's a future to be seen. You know that the lawnmower, the clothes dryer, and the elevator make life easier, that the blood bank makes life possible. You know that these things we count on every day started as ideas. But did you know all these ideas came from the minds of African Americans? Support minority education today so we don't miss out on the next big idea tomorrow. The United Negro College Fund. A mind is a terrible thing to waste. Please visit uncf.org or call 1-800-332-UNCF. Brought to you by UNCF and the Ad Council.
You wanna go? All of you who wanna go to college, wanna go? You best listen to this knowledge. Listen, you gotta be a go-getter, cause it's hard to get there. Get up in their face, get up in their space, so ask for help and do not stop. Know how to go, that's it, let's rock.
That was Farnsworth Bentley with Wanna Go. For more college info, visit knowhowtogo.org. Brought to you by the American Council on Education, Lumina Foundation for Education, and the Ad Council.
This is President Barack Obama. In the story of America, the greatest chapters are moments of challenge, when we see people serving their country and one another. Volunteers who step forward into hospital corridors and church basements, along levees and fire lines. And the next chapter is yours to help write. Sign up to volunteer at usaservice.org. That's usaservice.org. Let's renew America together.
A message from Renew America Together, brought to you by the Ad Council.
Gospel 1680 WOKB.
Okay, we're back. We are back to get engaged in the conversation of preparing to be a wife. Yes, that's August 23rd through the 26th at a secluded location. You have to log on, register to find out where we're going to be, because we don't want those men to show up. You know, they might want to see the beautiful women that's showing up to prepare to be a wife. Yes, that's www.preparingtobeawife.eventbrite.com. That's www.preparingtobeawife.eventbrite.com, or go on to getthe411.biz. That's getthe411.biz. Or give us a call, 407-434-1141 for more information. Now, Pastor, we left off on okay. See, Pastor, tell us how long you've been. You have prepared. You've been in practice.
Okay. I think maybe because of culture and I was raised. My mother is Southern African, from Zimbabwe, and I was raised in my father's Jamaican. So my mother took a lot of pains to just train us and show us, and I think it's something that is inbred or ingrained in us. As I watched my mom, she taught me how to wash dishes. There's actually a way that she showed me to make sure when you wash dishes, they come out clean, you see. And she taught me how to scrub the floor. Okay. You know, she taught me how to iron. You know, she actually taught, and I would iron a shirt. I'll be told, go back and do it again. You know, come back with it. No, it's not done. Go back, and she would show me, and so forth. So that's the environment where I grew up in. You see, where everybody was always teaching you something. Aunties, you know, uncles, someone had some information to impart to you. So generally, that's the environment where I grew up in.
I can agree with that. Because even making the bed.
Yes.
Now, my grandmother taught me how to make hospital corners.
Yes.
She showed me how to make it.
Those pockets.
Those pockets.
Right. Same here. So how to make it a bed, how to hoover and sweep. There's a certain way that I sweep. And sometimes when I sit back and I'm watching, because, you know, my house is always full. There is always something happening. And I'm sitting back and I'm watching and I'm seeing someone sweep. And I'm thinking, Lord, okay. All right. You know. And I then want to show them, you know, how to actually sweep. Training is never easy. Training is a very difficult and hard thing. I've got a daughter. She is 10 years old. And when I started training her to bath, to wash herself, she would leave the bathroom and I'll say to her, did you wash under your armpits? Then she'll look at me and say, no. Then she'll rush back again to finish off that part. Okay. And we did this for a long time. She'll go in, spend some time scrubbing herself, and when she comes out, I said, well, did you remember to do such and such an area? And she'll say, no.
At that age, as long as the water hits you, you're clean.
So, you know, she would go back in. So it was a task for me as well as for her. But it's paying off. At 10 years old, I mean, this girl gets herself ready for school. She's fine. She turns herself out well. So I'm pleased about that. So to me, training is not something that is pleasant either way. There's a lot of patience that needs to be acquired, and it should also be a teachable spirit. You see,
I think paying attention to detail is the difference between just doing something and, you know, really doing it. And also, when it comes to things, I've always been told Pastor Taylor is a chef. So you guys know that. That's why we have such good food.
Oh, man.
She's a chef by trade. But your presentation makes all the difference.
That's right.
Because
you
and I can cook the same thing. We can cook baked chicken and have, you know, whipped mashed potatoes with gravy and a vegetable on the side. And I slap mine on the plate. But she puts hers very delicately on the plate and dresses it and presents it.
Well, we eat with our eyes,
Which one would you rather eat?
I was going to say,
we eat with our eyes.
School, we're taught we eat with our eyes.
Yeah.
The first thing we do, we're visual.
That's right.
And do you know, once we see that good food, you can get full off of it.
Exactly. And so you should apply those same principles to everything that you do.
I like
Not
that.
just the plate, but you want to present everything to your mate, to your husband.
But another thing, I think that's very important for us. There's to be taught to be a wife is that not everybody's a trainer, not everybody's a teacher. You see, training somebody in these skills. I'll give you an example. Miss Tamara's got a granddaughter, right? And she's coming from a totally different background.
All right, Pastor. Now you telling my age. Okay.
Well,
It's okay, I'm a grandma
last
too.
week we gave a drum roll and we did say she's 15.
By the way, Glenn, I know you have all my cards, gifts, packages, everything stored up when I leave today.
So, oh yes, our resident caller has just called in.
Just who we've been waiting for.
Yes.
And I was going to open the lines 407-894-1680 just in case you want to know what to do to be a wife. How do you prepare yourself from the kitchen to the bedroom? But we have one caller that has the number in her BlackBerry, in her iPad, in her everything. She just have that. She just
I
have
think
that
it's branded
number.
on her forehead.
It's branded.
Well,
Okay.
Yeah. Let me just quickly finish at this point. Not everyone is a trainer.
Okay.
Right. It's very, very important that we have the right people training you. Now, as I said, we have a beautiful young lady who just blossoming out into in teenagehood. Now, the way I approach her is very different when I need to train her about something, when I need to show her about something. She's coming from a very different background. So I'm delicate. I use a little bit of psychology. You're brilliant. You're so beautiful. You're so helpful. Oh my God. You are, oh Lord, I need to give you pocket money. Oh no, look at this, and I can actually see her, her shoulders coming up and squaring up and she wants to help me. She's saying, oh, Pastor Tahila, can I do this? Is it okay? And she's looking at my face, looking at approval, you see. So there's different ways of approaching and training someone.
And that's in every aspect, because not just us and us getting ready to be trained, but how do you approach your husband? How do you speak to your husband? That's another thing that I would like to learn, because we speak to our...
Could you take the garbage out?
Yeah. Don't you see the law need to be done?
I have had enough. I was at work all throughout that day. I started the same time as you did. I came back home. I did the cooking, and I was looking after the children. You cannot do that small act. Just pick up the garbage. You cannot, So,
and then what did you say? I love what you said. Is a picture I put on Facebook, and the woman was like screaming at the man, and the man head and eyes was somewhere else. Who was he thinking about, Pastor?
Oh,
he was thinking about Vivacious in the office.
That's it.
yes,
Miss,
yes.
You call her. You had a name for
Oh
her.
yeah. Yes, I remember. Oh, who was it? Oh, who was she?
But he was not listening to you. He was thinking about Miss Collard Green that be at the copy paper, and she's really nice. Hello, dear. How are you?
Yeah.
Did you have a good night? How was
You
your
look
night?
stressed.
You look so stressed.
Let me get you a cup of coffee.
Yes, and you know what we're doing? We're opening the doors for. You said her name. But Miss so and so.
But she's not the one you're gonna want to marry. Remember that.
But it's not.
No, but she has the right approach.
She has the
it.
right approach,
Yeah.
but as a man, you really definitely want your woman to be able to. It's an environment you're talking about, a creative environment of learning that we're talking about. Children are sponges, so they there's a statement that a lot of people like to say nowadays: "Don't do as I do as I say." That's so wrong.
We'll be teaching grown women.
No, but at the same time, you have grown women saying that. I know this because I've been in that type of environment. Kids are sponges, and they watch everything you do. I know I got to take the garbage out. I know I have to do certain things. Now, if my wife doesn't necessarily say anything, I might just be laxed about it. So it's
the way you say it.
Exactly. It's your approach and everything.
Yeah, it's the way I'm gonna say it. It's the way I'm gonna ask you. to help me to take out this garbage. If I'm not careful, my tone of voice,
The word choice.
you see, that's right.
Or
That's
you
right.
get the silent treatment.
Let's
Or you
Precious
don't get it
is
at all.
Precious is waiting on the phone. Precious, do you have a quick question? 30 seconds. I'm counting.
Hey, Precious.
Good afternoon. How you doing?
Good afternoon.
I'm actually getting the message.
We love you. We love you. We need you.
We felt kind of bad for Precious this weekend. She couldn't text to London for the questions. Okay,
Go ahead.
Dear. I was put in that place for a reason.
Yes.
I want to ask, do you think how the relationship started determines how it will be sustained in the long run and how long it will start? And how it starts also determines the value both parties actually give to the relationship. And I come from a background where the man hunts and where the man has to make the first move. But I've been exposed in different cultures where a woman now it is acceptable for her to make the first move, and can it be a cause why at that moment I feel that's the beginning of the process of reversing nature's course. I don't know what you think. Probably the gentleman will answer first. How do you feel when the woman makes the first move? Is it will it build a different relationship than when you actually make the first move?
Yeah, Precious, do you mind? I think you mentioned right at the beginning as you were asking your questions that the way the relationship started, does it determine, how it will develop and how it's sustained, the way it started? And does it also determine the value, how much value you put on that relationship, the way it started? And then following on to that, you asked another question. Can you repeat that?
I guess I was asking if the gentlemen, what they prefer.
Okay,
this
all
is
right.
probably going to be answered by the gentleman.
Okay.
How would you value that relationship differently from the one that you make the first move as the man and the one that they...
So how do you see us then when I make a move on you and I make it known that I'm available and I like you, and how then is the relationship determined?
Well, from my point of view, people beg to differ, but, after having been through the situations that I've been in life, if I'm approached by a woman, it kind of makes me skeptical about that woman. It makes me think about how many other men has she approached.
Oh, right.
Do y'all hear that, ladies?
But at the same token, and that's tradition. You can say, and that's traditional. But to me, I feel like she knows what she wants. She saw what she wanted, and she went and came after it. And in this world, sometimes we have to be a little aggressive. He is right. It does flash in your mind. At least
but
for
isn't
that.
Stereotypical?
I mean, yeah, it is.
Stereotyping?
But we live in stereotypes.
Right.
We live in those.
But I
things.
go by the word.
Yes, that's exactly what I was going to say.
The word
Let's
says,
get back to the word.
Thank you.
Yes, and the word says, go ahead, Pastor.
He who finds a wife finds a good thing
and favor upon the Lord. So if you think about it, the first word said was he.
Exactly.
Not she.
That's it. And I think we are so far from biblical principles.
That's right. In relationships.
Yes.
Now, things are upside down. Things are now twisted. As you heard, he says, I have a different mindset when a woman approaches me. That leadership role is a little bit off balance because she has come and what you're supposed to have done, she's doing it for you.
That's it. The domination that I see more dominant. Now she has a dominant role, and that kind of shows you what you're going to go through the relationship of control.
Well, and another thing too, it strokes the ego sometimes when you have someone approach you, like, wow, it strokes it, and ego stands for edging God out.
I want to hear from callers 407-894-1680. Let's open up the lines. Precious, you touched on something really good, and I think this is a conversation that we need to, because
but going back to what she said. Yeah. Going back to what she said, does it then determine the relationship and the sustainability of the relationship, how it started? I believe it doesn't have to. It can, but it doesn't have to.
Okay.
Maturity is needed, right? Okay. You can meet her as a prostitute, right? And she can become a good woman, a decent woman, because of the tone that you set for that relationship as it progresses, you see. So this is where you need God. This is where we need the word and to be led by the word of God, okay? Because if you remain in that status, if you remain in that way, it will be disastrous, it will be chaotic, you see, as you go on. And the survival rate or chances of that relationship becomes very, very slim. So it takes a lot of maturity. It takes a lot of patience, because of the kind of a world that we live in now, people are meeting one another in different situations and circumstances. You meet each other on the dance floor, you meet each other on certain places that, are not very good.
I'm glad you mentioned that, Pastor. I think it's a little bit dangerous, some of the places people are meeting, like Facebook. And now we've got Christian dating.
Okay.
Websites,
exactly,
online
which
dating.
I totally disagree with.
Because you can be you can be whoever you want on the internet. You can be whoever you can
and
paint
put a label
picture
on it and call it Christian.
Yeah, but it's how you live. We got to remember this is how you live. So,
well, I mean, let's look at it. The other side of the coin. This young woman or man, he's a Christian, he loves the Lord, but there just isn't anything around him. There's no one around him that he's attracted to, or and is beginning to feel a little bit frustrated, and he chooses to go on, what is it called?
Facebook, Match.com.
Matchmaker.com.
Yeah.
They have the singlechristans.com.
That's it.
Yes.
He chooses to go on a single match.com, and he does it prayerfully. So what do we say to that?
Well, I mean, if you do it, once again, you started with one of the principles that God asked. That's prayer, which is communication to him. So the Holy Spirit will lead and guide you into all truths. So if you lead with God, he's going to definitely lead you into the right direction. Now, which when we try to direct ourselves, we get into a problem. And that's
I mean, this is the thing, you see. Minister Tamara just said, I don't agree with those things. So
you could run into fatal attraction. She might be on the other end of that,
But you don't want to meet him in a place where there is, you set boundaries, and you go to a restaurant. You might want to meet with your girlfriends. You want to meet, in a crowded place, So, but I think, like Pastor said, there is avenues of ways of meeting everyone. That's why it was put out there, but it's how you use it. That's just like food. If we overeat on food, we get fat. So, everything you do it in discretion. Now, again, I'm opening up the lines 407-894-1680. I want to hear, Precious touched on something really good about, should we pick up the man? Should the man pick us up? Should we meet our mate, or should we allow our mate to meet us on Facebook? Now, or Match.com. For me, I don't like someone speaking to me on Facebook. I don't like for them to inbox me telling me how good I look, because the first thing in my mind, just like the men just said it, how many women have you inboxed and told they look good? So I have a problem with that.
And remember last week we talked about judging or looking from the inside out, not the outward appearance, because the outward appearance can be so deceiving. It's not the real person.
So the consensus right now is that wait on God.
Yes.
And be in the right environment. You know, go to the fellowships that are out there where, you know, and there is something else when meeting a partner or meeting a wife, something that is done even in churches. Go to your pastor. Pastor, I'm ready to marry.
Yes.
And this is what I'm looking for. This is what I want. Your pastor knows you. Your pastor has spent time with you. And they've watched you work. They know your character. And if you're now ready,
I'm gonna, and you know, it's funny. I'm gonna tell a joke on that. I remember when I was getting married again, my second. You know, I only been married twice, but you know, and I went to my pastor, and she said, "Bridgie, are you sure?" And I'm like, "Yes, Pastor, I'm sure." She's like, "I know you, Bridgie." Look, trust your pastor. See, they know you. They know. And what you don't want to deal with. And I'm not saying that it might have been the wrong person. I just wasn't ready. I found out I wasn't ready. And I didn't know how to be a wife. I didn't know how to let go of that person.
So
now, Pastor, we talked about something. We have ladies. We have a women's prayer meeting every Tuesday.
Yes.
And it's a wonderful, wonderful time because we have Bible study with everybody, with the whole group on Fridays. But on Tuesdays, it's just for the women for Bible study and prayer. And we were discussing frustration.
Yes. Yesterday.
And so that's what many of us do many a time. We're so frustrated because we waited so long. And again, we got that biological clock and we have other things that are going on.
And we have other women as well, you know, exerting that pressure.
Oh, yes.
So when are you going to have children?
Yes.
How many kids do you have now? And you have none at that time. You don't even have the guy in sight.
Exactly.
So
you have the whole wedding already planned, you just don't have the husband.
Yes. Well, that same pressure goes to Ben as well.
Really?
Yeah, you get that same, you know.
No,
we get the same pressure. But most, you know, if you're single and you don't have children, you get that same, you know.
For men?
Yes, because I'm single without children, and I felt I'm Jamaican too, and I felt the pressure throughout the entire, from my 20s on up. I almost felt like I had to have children to justify that I was a man.
Oh,
I think that's what it is for men. She just said it. They feel that if they don't have,
if you don't have your
children,
right, and it's taught to you. It's taught. It was something, and I always used to say, "Listen, I'm watching you take care of your children, and and it's tough. Nobody's taking care of my kids. I'm going to take care of mine. You get what you speak. When I was in high school, I said this. And I told the Lord this: I won't have children unless I'm married. So I haven't been married, and I haven't had children. He has not ordained it yet. What He ordains, He will sustain. There's certain morals and standards that we have to put in place. I did that for myself. That's from coming from a single mom. So I always said I wouldn't have a child by themselves because I'm the only child. I didn't like being raised just by myself, coming into an empty house. So, I mean, it all depends on your environment, you know, where you were raised, culture.
Yes.
And in society, like, you know, society tells men that, you know, basically
I'm
you need
really
to have
surprised.
children.
I am really surprised.
And it's a tremendous
that
pressure.
man would feel that pressure too, that we feel. I mean, so you have a lot of guys at 19 that feel like I need to have my son right now. I need to have my son. But at 19, you don't love nobody. Is that the reason why we have so many baby mothers and baby fathers?
Yes,
and
yes.
daddy? Yeah.
Well, I mean, once again, we got to go back to the biblical principle. It said flee from fornication, and that once that word flee means run. We don't run. It didn't say don't do it. It said flee, and we have the
WOKB, Winter Garden, Orlando.
You've just tuned into Women, Wisdom, and the Word with your hosts,
Pastor Tehila,
Minister Tamara Murray,
Minister David Williams,
Minister Bridget Norvell.
And remember, you can never overdose on wisdom.
Good afternoon, Central Florida. How are you today? We are back and welcome to our show, Women, Wisdom, and the Word. Yes, we are back. This is Minister Bridget Norvell.
WOKB, Winter Garden, Orlando.
You've just tuned into Women, Wisdom, and the Word with your hosts,
Pastor Tehila,
Minister Tamara Murray,
Minister David Williams,
Minister Bridget Norvell.
and remember, you can never overdose on wisdom.
Good afternoon, Central Florida. How are you today? We are back and welcome to our show, Women, Wisdom, and the Word. Yes, we are back. This is Minister Bridget Norvell, and we have the crew here around the round table ready to go over our conversation from last week.
Yes,
So let's
yes.
do the roll call. Who we have in the studio?
Hey, Central Florida, Pastor Tehila.
Okay.
She's busy taking
I'm
photographs.
here. Hello, Central Florida. This is Minister Tamara.
Hello, Central Florida. This is David. I hope you enjoyed the radio broadcast today.
Yes, it was pretty heated last week, and I think we'll see. I see
Yes, it
Pastor
was.
have her Wise Women book ready and everything.
Yes.
Last week, where did we leave off at? And at the 30 minutes of the hour, we're going to have open up the lines at 407-894-1680. That's 407-894-1680. Lock it in, because we will be opening up the lines for your comments, for your questions. But we're going to talk about, last week we left off on preparing to be a wife. It is a soul retreat that's happening August 23rd through the 26th. For more information, go to preparingtobeawife.eventbrite.com. That always throws me off. Preparingtobeawife.eventbrite.com. Once you go on there, you will see some information about it. Our soul retreats, we close out, we rent a home, a vacation home. This time it's going to be 7 bedrooms, and what we're going to do is, like we always do, minister to you. There's from ministering to delivering, to praise and worship, to cooking, to eating, fellowshipping. You can spend the night, you can go home, you can stay at another hotel. But the thing is, it's to get you prepared to be a wife,
Yes.
prepared for the things in life. Our last soul retreat was just dealing with the soul. Valentine's Day, we did have a soul retreat where it was the love portion, and we were all laid out in love with God and intimacy. And Pastor came and talked about the bloodline. What a great way of, ended out the soul retreat. But this one, you're really going to love it. So there were some questions last week we left off at, and I think we had some situations that there were women that were not looking at red flags, and yes, we want to continue with that. And another thing too about women, that I had a situation that a woman that had her husband fooling around and still married, and it's just so much. But go ahead, Pastor.
Well, I mean, last week we had people that were calling in, and they had these situations, and they were wondering, do I stay in it? Do I leave? What do I do? Well, I as I said last week, I think the Word of God should govern us, how we make decisions, how to live for God. The Bible tells us that darkness and light, cannot mix. So if you truly, truly want to follow God and be a woman of God and raise up your family in the, in the fear of God, then you cannot mix. You cannot mix. You cannot have a boyfriend, or as someone said, what was it? There was with someone for a long time, and and they saw these things that were not good
The
in
red
them,
flags,
the red
yeah.
flags. It's amazing that even at the Marriage Enrichment Fellowship, we spoke about red flags.
Yes, let's talk about that. Let's talk
see.
about that. You know, and that I think that was like a kickoff to the Soul Retreat.
Yes.
Because it was so awesome. You know, let's get some input of Pastor this weekend had a marriage enrichment fellowship.
Yes.
Awesome, awesome. Now I have to say I have to blast her out there. Pastor did cheat.
No,
As usual.
Pastor
No, I didn't. No.
you improvised and you were researching.
Yes.
Okay.
And it was an open book. You forget that.
Yes.
The whole thing.
I have to watch Pastor all the time. You know?
No, I was improvising. I was comparing and contrasting.
Yes.
I was, you know.
Let me explain to you what she was improvising. See, Minister Tamara, what was it? It was a game we were playing.
Well, you know, we were trying to do something
You guys,
systematically.
you are so bad.
We had the husbands, yes, you know, the husbands in one area and the wives in another, and we wanted to see just how much we know about each other.
Well, the
husband
women
and
did cheat
wives.
a little bit.
No, wait. I got to put Minister David out there.
David, come on
How
now.
many times did he come and get some water?
Oh no!
And he had to get. I mean, he was over on the other side, on the women's side, a lot. For
I mean,
someone
he
that
came
was-
around the corner looking like the Pink Panther.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh my,
Well, you know, the thing about it is nothing wrong with a man wanting to know where his woman is at.
You see,
She was
me and
right in the
David,
living room.
we had the right mindset. You know,
Yes.
we improvised. We did what we did. You know, so.
And we're talking about the soul retreat that we had this weekend. It was now.
The marriage
I'm sorry,
enrichment.
forgive me. The marriage enrichment. We have so many things going on, and they're all so good. But this was the marriage enrichment, and we had married couples. We had couples that are engaged. We had those that are looking to be married on at the fellowship.
Yes.
And it was very interesting. There were some interesting results. There were some couples that knew everything about each other. And then there were some couples, we won't mention any names, that their spouse knew practically everything. They were in the dark.
Men, I will tell you, until you get in a situation, you do not know as much about your woman as you think.
Yes. Saturday was really interesting, and Pastor, you know.
No.
So we want to tell them exactly what we did. We asked questions.
Yes.
For example, what is your husband's waist size?
Okay.
You know, what is your wife's shoe size?
Yes. And the other question was, what did he like to eat? And
And his favorite color.
And his favorite color.
And I got
what
that
was
one
his
right.
That was 1 out of 14.
Yes. After she researched it. She researched Pastor researched a few questions, you know, and then the bra side, I think a lot of men said that they plead the fifth.
Yes.
On the bra size. But it was great.
Yeah.
I told the gentleman, and my name is Yvonne. We told them that we had to plead the fifth if they didn't know. But some of the questions that we had, I thought were so difficult. You know, where you met her, what time, what place, what was the situation or circumstances.
What's difficult about that? Okay.
Well, when you say
let me
circumstances,
wait, one moment. You just came on in. We have to introduce you. We do have someone that stepped into the studio. Can you give your name, please?
my name is Brother Yvonne Hammond.
Okay.
And I'm just here to.
Drum roll, please.
Well, thank you so much. That was so gracious of you. But I just wanted to share some light on that because that enrichment was so well put together in the little game that we did. Do you really know her is what I called it on the title. And it was some questions that it was pretty interesting. Me being single, I was like, wow, I didn't know I need to know the bra size. I didn't need to know.
You need to know that.
But you know, there was some good questions there as far as what did she like to eat. Like I said, there was the second question was a 3-part question, what place, what time, and what were the circumstances. And I had to describe that to each fellow. I had to explain to them, what's the circumstances? Did you see her walking down the street and you said, ooh, I want to talk to her?
See, women pay attention to things like that, you know?
Yes. Well, all the women answered that with no problem. The guys had to really sit back and think. But but don't be fooled. We know how we met you. We know what we saw.
And I have to say that they did know.
Yeah,
they knew the time.
Can you imagine
and the place?
He knew exactly.
Yes.
And
Elder is different.
Yes.
Okay. Oh no, you guys.
Most of the men knew, but they had to dig deep. They had to dig deep, and sometimes we don't want to go as deep. Sometimes it might come off as being weak. And that's what society says. That you can't. You don't want to be too emotional. You want to have that hard exterior out there. So for me to say, well, I saw her in the grocery store and it was like, she was beautiful, or
that
I met her in church.
Ego.
Right.
Yes, that false sense of ego. But this is what, and that was just a kickoff. So if you missed it, you don't want to miss preparing to be a wife.
And we do the marriage enrichment. We do that a few times a year, don't we, Pastor?
Yes.
So if you missed this one, it's okay. We're going to have another one. And so you guys get ready. We'll announce it, when it's time for that.
Yes. Now, ladies, we're going to now jump into this retreat and what we're going to be talking about, what we're going to be teaching. And the teacher is here.
No,
yes, and we have other people that's going to come in. Pastor, you talked about the laundry. Why is it important? Why is it important for women to know how to do laundry?
Well, I mean, that's one of the biggest things in the household. One of the biggest chores in a household, and that is laundry. So we need to know how to deal with it, how to make sure that what colors and
yes, I know some women that have perfected the skill of tie-dye. They know how to tie-dye dark clothes.
Yes.
That sound like what men do.
Yeah, and you know what the thing about me, I have a particular way of doing my laundry.
Okay.
There's a particular way. There's a way that I like. My whites to really be white.
Yes.
You see.
Yes.
And I like my clothes to come out clean. Now I've noticed that when I have like guests or visitors, people that come and stay with me and they want to help, and they put the laundry in the washing machine, it comes out dirty. They've put too much.
And we don't know that.
Yeah, you need to be taught.
Yes. And my grandmother always said, and we were brought up different. We never can put the towels with regular clothes.
That's right.
We never put our sheets with regular clothes.
Exactly.
And we separate, and we
even our smalls, which means our intimate, your panties and bras and things like that, they were done, or they're supposed to be done separately because the wash cycle, is separate. Okay. So all these things, they seem to be common sense, but common sense is not common sense.
Now,
to everyone.
question:
common sense is not common practice.
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
Would you wash your husband's clothes with your clothes?
Depending on what it is. Depending on what it is, we wash, his boxer shorts and with my things, my intimate, my
apparel.
Yes.
Okay.
And all that. I can wash that together. But there's certain things that I do not even laundry at home. For instance, his shirts. I have to take that to the dry cleaners.
Okay.
Because shirts, they need to maintain their shape and the collars and everything else. So when you take them to the dry cleaners, they have a way of laundering them. So yes, there are certain things that I would wash together with mine. For instance, jeans.
Okay.
I mean, I would wash my jeans and his jeans. But I'm particular about washing my husband's things with the children and the rest of the household.
Okay.
So I'm particular about that because I don't want to mix them. I don't want to make a mistake. So at all times, I do our laundry separately. My boys do their own laundry, and I do my daughter's her own laundry, and we don't mix it up.
I like that. Because there are going to be women that has children and might not know that. And another thing that I wanted to ask you, maybe if you are financially challenged at that time, you get married, and you don't have the money to put the husband's shirts in the dry cleaner.
It's not
what
that
can
expensive.
You do?
I'm telling you, it's not that expensive, because you would go and get a McDonald's, a burger. It's less than that now. You shop around for a very good dry cleaners. It's not that expensive. It really is. You know what? It's just about priorities. What is your priority, right? And what are you willing to spend time and money on? And when you, especially when you visit a certain establishment regularly, you'll be able to put your clothes in and then pick up a few, then you come back and you pick up a few more, and so forth. So there's something else as well that we wanted to just let our listeners know.
Yes.
You know, we're going to be looking at a wide range of subjects.
Okay.
You know, and I remember last week we were discussing with Minister Tamara, and we're looking at things also like biological clock.
Okay.
You know.
Can we hold that? I'm going to make some announcements. We're going to go to a quick 2-minute break, but I'm going to make some announcement. We're going to stay right there. Now, I want you to grab your pen and papers. This is going to be pretty fast, but we will mention this again at the end of the show. June 2nd, removing the mask, going behind the veil. Please contact Minister Annette for more information. 724-630-8372. That's removing the mask. You don't want to miss this. Dealing with those issues of unforgiveness. Contact Minister Tamara. It will be at Pastor's house. Yes, there will be food like always. 724-630-8372. Then June 16th, we have Daughter of Purpose and Removing the Mask, First Ladies Night Out. Come out and enjoy being a First Lady. 7 p.m. Capitol Grill Restaurant. Reserve, RSVP. You can contact us at 407-434-1141 to reserve your space. That's 407-434-1141. Also, June 16th, Pastor LaRue. If you know Pastor LaRue, she was with Faith World. She was with Benny Hinn. She has opened up a council for you praise and worship, dance leader, bass drums, voice, sound, everyone that is out there that want to perfect that inside worship and know what true worship is. Please contact her at LaRueLive.com. That's LARUE Live.com. She has started a worship leader association. We will be right back. We're going to talk about what Pastor just said, and we're going to open up the phone lines to find out too, what is it that you want to learn? How do you want to prepare to be a wife? We'll be right back.
Gospel 1680 WOKB.
You know that the ice cream scoop has the power to make a child smile, and that by slowing us down, the traffic light can keep us going. You know that the golf tee brings friends together, that the mailbox keeps them connected. You know that the cataract laser helps you look to the future, while the pacemaker ensures that there's a future to be seen. You know that the lawnmower, the clothes dryer, and the elevator make life easier, that the blood bank makes life possible. You know that these things we count on every day started as ideas. But did you know all these ideas came from the minds of African Americans? Support minority education today so we don't miss out on the next big idea tomorrow. The United Negro College Fund. A mind is a terrible thing to waste. Please visit uncf.org or call 1-800-332-UNCF. Brought to you by UNCF and the Ad Council.
You wanna go? All of you who wanna go to college, wanna go? You best listen to this knowledge. Listen, you gotta be a go-getter, cause it's hard to get there. Get up in their face, get up in their space, so ask for help and do not stop. Know how to go, that's it, let's rock.
That was Farnsworth Bentley with Wanna Go. For more college info, visit knowhowtogo.org. Brought to you by the American Council on Education, Lumina Foundation for Education, and the Ad Council.
This is President Barack Obama. In the story of America, the greatest chapters are moments of challenge, when we see people serving their country and one another. Volunteers who step forward into hospital corridors and church basements, along levees and fire lines. And the next chapter is yours to help write. Sign up to volunteer at usaservice.org. That's usaservice.org. Let's renew America together.
A message from Renew America Together, brought to you by the Ad Council.
Gospel 1680 WOKB.
Okay, we're back. We are back to get engaged in the conversation of preparing to be a wife. Yes, that's August 23rd through the 26th at a secluded location. You have to log on, register to find out where we're going to be, because we don't want those men to show up. You know, they might want to see the beautiful women that's showing up to prepare to be a wife. Yes, that's www.preparingtobeawife.eventbrite.com. That's www.preparingtobeawife.eventbrite.com, or go on to getthe411.biz. That's getthe411.biz. Or give us a call, 407-434-1141 for more information. Now, Pastor, we left off on okay. See, Pastor, tell us how long you've been. You have prepared. You've been in practice.
Okay. I think maybe because of culture and I was raised. My mother is Southern African, from Zimbabwe, and I was raised in my father's Jamaican. So my mother took a lot of pains to just train us and show us, and I think it's something that is inbred or ingrained in us. As I watched my mom, she taught me how to wash dishes. There's actually a way that she showed me to make sure when you wash dishes, they come out clean, you see. And she taught me how to scrub the floor. Okay. You know, she taught me how to iron. You know, she actually taught, and I would iron a shirt. I'll be told, go back and do it again. You know, come back with it. No, it's not done. Go back, and she would show me, and so forth. So that's the environment where I grew up in. You see, where everybody was always teaching you something. Aunties, you know, uncles, someone had some information to impart to you. So generally, that's the environment where I grew up in.
I can agree with that. Because even making the bed.
Yes.
Now, my grandmother taught me how to make hospital corners.
Yes.
She showed me how to make it.
Those pockets.
Those pockets.
Right.
Same here. So how to make it a bed, how to hoover and sweep. There's a certain way that I sweep. And sometimes when I sit back and I'm watching, because, you know, my house is always full. There is always something happening. And I'm sitting back and I'm watching and I'm seeing someone sweep. And I'm thinking, Lord, okay. All right. You know. And I then want to show them, you know, how to actually sweep. Training is never easy. Training is a very difficult and hard thing. I've got a daughter. She is 10 years old. And when I started training her to bath, to wash herself, she would leave the bathroom and I'll say to her, did you wash under your armpits? Then she'll look at me and say, no. Then she'll rush back again to finish off that part. Okay. And we did this for a long time. She'll go in, spend some time scrubbing herself, and when she comes out, I said, well, did you remember to do such and such an area? And she'll say, no.
At that age, as long as the water hits you, you're clean.
So, you know, she would go back in. So it was a task for me as well as for her. But it's paying off. At 10 years old, I mean, this girl gets herself ready for school. She's fine. She turns herself out well. So I'm pleased about that. So to me, training is not something that is pleasant either way. There's a lot of patience that needs to be acquired, and it should also be a teachable spirit. You see,
I think paying attention to detail is the difference between just doing something and, you know, really doing it. And also, when it comes to things, I've always been told Pastor Taylor's a chef. So you guys know that. That's why we have such good food.
Oh, man.
She's a chef by trade. But your presentation makes all the difference.
That's right.
Because
That's
you and I
right.
can cook the same thing. We can cook baked chicken and have, whipped mashed potatoes with gravy and a vegetable on the side, and I slap mine on the plate. But she puts hers very delicately on the plate and dresses it and presents
we eat
it.
with our eyes.
Which
don't
one
we?
would you rather eat?
I was gonna say
We eat
in
with our
cooking
eyes.
school we're taught we eat with our eyes.
Yeah.
The first thing we
Exactly.
do, we're visual.
That's
and
right.
do you know once we see that good food, you can get full off
Exactly.
of it.
And so you should apply those same principles to everything that you do.
I like
Not
that.
just the plate, but you want to present everything to your mate, to your husband.
But another thing, I think that's very important for us, there's to be taught to be a wife, is that not everybody's a trainer, not everybody's a teacher. You see, training somebody in these skills. I'll give you an example. Miss Tamara's got a granddaughter,
Yes.
right? And she's coming from a totally different background.
All right, Pastor, now you telling my age. Okay.
Well,
It's okay, I'm a grandma
last
too.
week we gave it drum roll and we did say she's 15.
By the way, Glenn, I know you have all my cards, gifts, packages, everything stored up when I leave today.
So, oh yes, our resident caller has just called in.
Just who we've been waiting for.
Yes.
And I was going to open the lines 407-894-1680 just in case you want to know what to do to be a wife. How do you prepare yourself from the kitchen to the bedroom? But we have one caller that has the number in her BlackBerry, in her iPad, in her everything. She just have that. She just
I
have
think
that
it's branded
number
on her forehead.
It's branded.
Well,
Okay.
Yeah. Let me just quickly finish at this point. Not everyone is a trainer.
Okay.
Right. It's very, very important that we have the right people training you. Now, as I said, we have a beautiful young lady who just blossoming out into in teenagehood. Now, the way I approach her is very different when I need to train her about something, when I need to show her about something. She's coming from a very different background. So I'm delicate. I use a little bit of psychology. You're brilliant. You're so beautiful. You're so helpful. Oh my God. You are, oh Lord, I need to give you pocket money. Oh no, look at this, and I can actually see her, her shoulders coming up and squaring up and she wants to help me. She's saying, oh, Pastor Tahila, can I do this? Is it okay? And she's looking at my face, looking at approval, you see. So there's different ways of approaching and training someone.
And that's in every aspect, because not just us and us getting ready to be trained, but how do you approach your husband? How do you speak to your husband? That's another thing that I would like to learn, because we speak to our...
Could you take the garbage out?
Yeah. Don't you see the law need to be done?
I have had enough. I was at work all throughout that day. I started the same time as you did. I came back home. I did the cooking, and I was looking after the children. You cannot do that small act. Just pick up the garbage. You cannot, So,
and then what did you say? I love what you said. Is the picture I put on Facebook, and the woman was like screaming at the man, and the man head and eyes was somewhere else. Who was he thinking about, Pastor?
He was thinking about Vivacious in the office.
That's it.
Yes,
Miss,
yes.
You call her. You had a name for
Oh
her.
yeah. Yes, I remember. Oh, who was it? Oh, who was she?
But he was not listening to you. He was thinking about Miss Collard Green that be at the copy paper, and she's really nice. Hello, dear. How are you?
Yeah.
Did you have a good night? How was
You
your
look
night?
stressed.
You look so stressed.
Let me get you a cup of coffee.
Yes, and you know what we're doing? We're opening the doors for. You said her name. But Miss so and so.
But she's not the one you're gonna want to marry. Remember that.
But it's not.
No, but she has the right approach.
She has the
it.
right approach,
Yeah.
but as a man, you really definitely want your woman to be able to. It's an environment you're talking about, a creative environment of learning that we're talking about. Children are sponges, so they there's a statement that a lot of people like to say nowadays: don't do as I do as I say. That's so wrong.
We'll be teaching grown women.
No, but at the same time, you have grown women saying that. I know this because I've been in that type of environment. Kids are sponges, and they watch everything you do. You know, I know I got to take the garbage out. I know I have to do certain things. Now, if my wife doesn't necessarily say anything, I might just be laxed about it. So it's
the way you say it.
Exactly. It's your approach and everything.
Yeah, it's the way I'm gonna say it. It's the way I'm gonna ask you to help me to take out this garbage. If I'm not careful, my tone of voice,
the word choice.
You see, that's right.
Or you get the silent treatment.
Let's.
Or you don't get it at all.
Precious is waiting on the phone. Precious, do you have a quick question? 30 seconds. I'm counting.
Hey, Precious.
Good afternoon. How you doing?
Good afternoon.
I'm actually getting the message.
We love you. We love you. We need you.
We felt kind of bad for Precious this weekend. She couldn't text to London for the questions. Okay,
Go ahead.
Dear. I was put in that place for a reason.
Yes.
I want to ask, do you think how the relationship started determines how it will be sustained in the long run and how long it will start? And how it starts also determines the value both parties actually give to the relationship. And I come from a background where the man hunts and where the man has to make the first move. But I've been exposed in different cultures where a woman now it is acceptable for her to make the first move, and can it be a cause why at that moment I feel that's the beginning of the process of reversing nature's course? I don't know what you think. Probably the gentleman will answer first. How do you feel when the woman makes the first move? Is it will it build a different relationship than when you actually make the first move?
Yeah, Precious, do you mind? I think you mentioned right at the beginning as you were asking your questions that the way the relationship started, does it determine, how it will develop and how it's sustained, the way it started? And does it also determine the value, how much value you put on that relationship, the way it started? And then following on to that, you asked another question. Can you repeat that?
I guess I was asking if the gentlemen, what they prefer.
Okay,
this
all
is
right.
probably going to be answered by the gentleman.
Okay.
How would you value that relationship differently from the one that you make the first move as the man and the one that they...
So how do you see us then when I make a move on you and I make it known that I'm available and I like you, and how then is the relationship determined?
Well, from my point of view, people beg to differ, but, after having been through the situations that I've been in life, if I'm approached by a woman, it kind of makes me skeptical about that woman. It makes me think about how many other men has she approached.
Oh, right.
Do y'all hear that, ladies?
But at the same token, and that's tradition. You can say, and that's traditional. But to me, I feel like she knows what she wants. She saw what she wanted, and she went and came after it. And in this world, sometimes we have to be a little aggressive. He is right. It does flash in your mind. At least
but
for that.
Isn't that stereotypical?
I mean, yeah, it is.
Stereotyping?
But we live in stereotypes.
Right.
We live in those.
But I
things.
go by the word.
Yes, that's exactly what
That's
I was
what
going to
we're
say.
supposed to
Let's
say.
get back to the word.
Thank you.
Yes, and the word says, go ahead, Pastor.
He who finds a wife finds a good thing
and favor upon the Lord. So if you think about it, the first word said was he.
Exactly.
Not she.
That's it. And I think we are so far from biblical principles.
That's right. In relationships.
Yes.
Now, things are upside down. Things are now twisted. As you heard, he says, I have a different mindset when a woman approaches me. that leadership role is a little bit off balance, because she has come, and what you're supposed to have done, she's doing it for you.
That's it. The domination that I see more dominant. This now she has a dominant role, and that kind of shows you what you're going to go through the relationship of control.
Well, and another thing too, it strokes the ego sometimes when you have someone approach you, like, wow, it strokes it, and ego stands for edging God out.
I want to hear from callers 407-894-1680. Let's open up the lines. Precious, she's touched on something really good, and I think this is a conversation that we need to, because
but going back to what she said. Yeah. Going back to what she said, does it then determine the relationship and the sustainability of the relationship, how it started? I believe it doesn't have to. It can, but it doesn't have to.
Okay.
Maturity is needed, right? Okay. You can meet her as a prostitute, right? And she can become a good woman, a decent woman, because of the tone that you set for that relationship as it progresses, you see. So this is where you need God. This is where we need the word and to be led by the word of God, okay? Because if you remain in that status, if you remain in that way, it will be disastrous, it will be chaotic, you see, as you go on. And the survival rate or chances of that relationship becomes very, very slim. So it takes a lot of maturity. It takes a lot of patience, because of the kind of a world that we live in now, people are meeting one another in different situations and circumstances. You meet each other on the dance floor, you meet each other on certain places that, are not very good.
I'm glad you mentioned that, Pastor. I think it's a little bit dangerous, some of the places people are meeting, like Facebook. And now we've got Christian dating.
Websites,
exactly,
online
which
dating.
I totally disagree with.
Because you can be you can be whoever you want on the internet. You can be whoever you can
and
paint
put a label
picture
on it and call it Christian.
Yeah, but it's how you live. We got to remember this is how you live. So,
well, I mean, let's look at it. The other side of the coin, this young woman or man, he's a Christian, he loves the Lord, but there just isn't anything around him. There's no one around him that he's attracted to, or and is beginning to feel a little bit frustrated, and he chooses to go on, what is it called?
Facebook, Match.com.
Matchmaker.com.
Yeah.
They have the singlechristans.com.
That's it.
Yes.
He chooses to go on a single match.com, and he does it prayerfully. So what do we say to that?
Well, I mean, if you do it, once again, you started with one of the principles that God asked. That's prayer, which is communication to Him. So the Holy Spirit will lead and guide you into all truths. So if you lead with God, He's going to definitely lead you into the right direction. Now, which when we try to direct ourselves, we get into a problem. And that's
I mean, this is the thing, you see. Minister Tamara just said, I don't agree with those things. So
you could run into fatal attraction. She might be on the other end of that,
But you don't want to meet him in a place where there is, you set boundaries, and you go to a restaurant. You might want to meet with your girlfriends. You want to meet, in a crowded place, So, but I think, like Pastor said, there is avenues of ways of meeting everyone. That's why it was put out there, but it's how you use it. That's just like food. If we overeat on food, we get fat. So, everything you do it in discretion. Now, again, I'm opening up the lines 407-894-1680. I want to hear, Precious touched on something really good about, should we pick up the man? Should the man pick us up? Should we meet our mate, or should we allow our mate to meet us on Facebook? Now, or Match.com. For me, I don't like someone speaking to me on Facebook. I don't like for them to inbox me telling me how good I look, because the first thing in my mind, just like the men just said it, how many women have you inboxed and told they look good? So I have a problem with that.
And remember last week we talked about judging or looking from the inside out, not the outward appearance, because the outward appearance can be so deceiving. It's not the real person.
So the consensus right now is that wait on God.
Yes.
And be in the right environment. You know, go to the fellowships that are out there where, you know, and there is something else when meeting a partner or meeting a wife, something that is done even in churches. Go to your pastor. Pastor, I'm ready to marry.
Yes.
And this is what I'm looking for. This is what I want. Your pastor knows you. Your pastor has spent time with you, and they've watched you work. They know your character. And if you're now ready,
I'm gonna, and you know, it's funny. I'm gonna tell a joke on that. I remember when I was getting married again, my second, you know, I only been married twice, but you know, and I went to my pastor, and she said, "Bridgie, are you sure?" And I'm like, "Yes, Pastor, I'm sure." She's like, "I know you, Bridgie." Look, trust your pastor. See, they know you. They know. And what you don't want to deal with. And I'm not saying that it might have been the wrong person. I just wasn't ready. I found out I wasn't ready. And I didn't know how to be a wife. I didn't know how to let go of that person.
So
now, Pastor, we talked about something. We have ladies. We have a women's prayer meeting every Tuesday.
Yes.
And it's a wonderful, wonderful time because we have Bible study with everybody, with the whole group on Fridays. But on Tuesdays, it's just for the women for Bible study and prayer. And we were discussing frustration.
Yes. Yesterday.
And so that's what many of us do many a time. We're so frustrated because we waited so long. And again, we got that biological clock and we have other things that are going on.
And we have other women as well, you know, exerting that pressure.
Oh, yes.
So when are you going to have children?
Yes.
How many kids do you have now? And you have none at that time. You don't even have the guy in sight.
Exactly.
So
you have the whole wedding already planned, you just don't have the husband.
Yes. Well, that same pressure goes to Ben as well.
Really?
Yeah, you get that same, you know.
No,
we get the same pressure. But most, you know, if you're single and you don't have children, you get that same, you know.
For men?
Yes, because I'm single without children, and I felt I'm Jamaican too, and I felt the pressure throughout the entire, from my 20s on up. I almost felt like I had to have children to justify that I was a man.
Oh.
I think that's what it is for men. She just said it. They feel that if they don't have
if you don't
children,
have your shit right, and it's taught to you. It's taught. It was something, and I always used to say, listen, I'm watching you take care of your children. And and it's tough. Nobody's taking care of my kids. I'm going to take care of mine. You get what you speak. When I was in high school, I said this, and I told the Lord this: I won't have children unless I'm married. So I haven't been married, and I haven't had children. He has not ordained it yet. What he ordains, he will sustain. There's certain morals and standards that we have to put in place. I did that for myself. That's from coming from a single mom. So I always said I wouldn't have a child by themselves because I'm the only child. I didn't like being raised just by myself, coming into an empty house. So, I mean, it all depends on your environment, you know, where you were raised, culture.
Yes.
And in society, like, you know, society tells men that, you know, basically
I'm
you need
really
to have
surprised.
children.
I am really surprised.
And it's a tremendous
that
pressure.
man would feel that pressure too, that we feel. I mean, so you have a lot of guys at 19 that feel like I need to have my son right now. I need to have my son. But at 19, you don't love nobody. Is that the reason why we have so many baby mothers and baby fathers?
Yes,
and
yes.
daddy? Yeah.
Well, I mean, once again, we got to go back to the biblical principle. It said flee from fornication, and that once that word flee means run. We don't run. It didn't say don't do it. It said flee, and we have the example in the Old Testament where Potiphar's wife went after Joseph, and Joseph fled. He fled from the situation. There's a lot of things that when they say flee from fornication, when you fornicate, you open up the door to a lot of things, not just physical, mental, but spiritual things as well, the things that you don't see.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So,
Brother David, I want to hear your point of view. You have, how many children do you have?
I have 2 children. I have a son and a daughter from 2 relationships. My daughter, me and her mother, we never married, and then I was married to the woman that gave birth to my son.
Now, did you feel that you had to have, he just said, a man feels
that pressure.
That pressure. Did you feel that pressure?
Well, the thing about it, I mean, growing up, I had so many other things that occupied my life that I never really felt that I needed to have children. I didn't feel that way growing up. So what I would say about that, it all depends on the background that you came from.
That's what Yvonne
because
said.
What happened. I would say to kind of like throw my father out there. My father had many children with about 4 different women. So a lot of things that happen, what plays a part in that is your generational background that caused some things to happen sometimes.
That's very interesting. Generational background.
And let me prefer that what David's saying as well. My father has 3 baby mamas. One is his wife. My mother was his wife, and then my oldest brother. One of the reasons why I had an issue with having babies out of wedlock is my father wasn't there, and I needed him. And I know how it feels to be without that other half. You see, it takes 2 to raise. It takes 2 to have a baby, so it takes 2 to raise the baby. The daughter needs the father as well as the mother. The son needs the mother as well as the father. And there's a disconnect. And I can tell you, I was raised in a dysfunctional home. But my mother is a strong woman, but she didn't have the male in there as well.
So preparing to be a wife, all these things will be brought out.
Yes.
We want, by the time the weekend is over, each and every one who lives that place is grounded.
Yes.
They're confident in who they are. They know how to wait on God. They know their place where they are at. And be comfortable. I was sharing this some time ago that I'm comfortable now.
Yes.
I'm content with what I have.
Yes.
I think right now it's only ministry, but everything else that I would have wanted to chase after, God has given me the grace to be content and to be satisfied with where I am right now. The children are there, both sexes, 2 boys and the girl. The husband is there, and all these other things. And I just bless God. Is by grace, really.
And I think the only way you were already there, you were already comfortable with the first love.
Yeah,
God.
Yeah.
So you also have balance, is what you're talking about. Balance.
And once you're in love with God as a single woman, everything just falls into place when you get married. Am I correct?
Yeah, there's an element of being whole.
Yes,
you being 100% whole. Because if you enter into a relationship and you're 45% there, I mean, who is going to fulfill, the rest that is missing? You see, certainly not him, because he's also struggling with his own weaknesses and shortcomings. So marriage really is what? 2 imperfect people coming together. You see, so what you need is a wholeness. I'm not saying perfect, but being whole.
One of the ladies at the marriage forum even said she was glad that she was there. Now, she's been married for 10 years, but she said that she was happy to be there, that she can learn how to be a woman of God and a wife. And I was so glad that she put it in that order, a woman of God first and a wife, which brings up something interesting I wanted to add is that, we're talking about what we're looking for in our mate and a husband to be or a wife to be. But are you able to also, we're talking about wholeness.
Yes.
Are you able to meet those same qualifications? Like you were saying last week, Pastor, you were looking for a doctor, a lawyer, engineer, somebody that got the money, the looks, the tall, dark, handsome, all of that. But what are we bringing to the table? You're looking for, somebody that has a doctorate and you have a GED.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And is it okay
And
that
there's
you-
nothing wrong with that. You understand what I'm saying? I'm not downing anybody that, is at that level. But what I'm saying is what you're reaching for, are you able to sustain it? When you get into that relationship, are you going to be
Yes.
able to communicate with that
Yes.
individual?
I like
I mean,
that.
this
Are
is
you
what
going to
was-
have things in common?
That's what we spoke about last time. Adding value to yourself.
That's-
What are you bringing to the table? That's what
You're
wholeness.
we're gonna do a little. We're gonna do a little. What it's called. Teaching on it. A little. Pastor's gonna show us how to sew, and we're gonna take our garment and we're gonna add value to the garment. That's gonna be a little demonstration during the soul retreat. So tell us a little about that. How do show us?
How do we add value to ourselves? Well, you work on yourself.
Yes.
You see, you work on yourself, whether it's education-wise, whether it's your knowledge base. You improve. You see, on yourself. One thing that amazing that happened to me this weekend. I've always hated what do you call it? Marketing. What is it called?
Network marketing.
I hate it.
Yes.
I because I didn't understand it.
Okay.
I really didn't understand network marketing. But one thing that I discovered about network marketing is that they do a lot of self-development.
They call it personal development, where you build yourself up from
personal
within.
development. You see, they do a lot of that. They teach you. They turn it all upside down. They give you little tricks, to change your mindset.
Yes.
You see,
Yes.
your mindset, to change it from where it has always been to a place whereby you are able to make residual income.
Big word.
And that goes into your relationship too, because I was also in that field of network marketing, and in network marketing they talk about balancing the whole life.
In essence, what I'm trying to say is, by adding value to yourself, there are things that you need to do. Work on yourself, so that when you meet that guy, you are ready. You're in the right position. You have worked it yourself. There are attributes that you've acquired. So adding value, an apron that will start off plain, and we're going to put some stuff on it. As we add value to this apron, and when we walk out, it is ready for you to wear it, and you're prepared to be a wife.
Wow.
And then with the men, we want to be generals. To keep getting our little stickers and our little things.
Well, I am so excited about this upcoming event, Preparing to Be a Wife. Ladies, log on to www.preparingtobeawife.eventbrite.com. Register. Get prepared. We prepare to be single a lot of times, but we don't know how to be a wife. Let's get it right. Let's get it right of being a mother. Let's get it right being a sister. Let's get it right to being a whole person. Don't forget, we have June 16th, the Worship United Summit, Worship Leader Association. Meet the Worship Leader United Summit Council, this amazing group to worship. Worship leaders are skilled professionals. They are here to pour into you skills that they had to get to where they're at and get you into that thing of worship, that release with you and God. They're calling all choirs, praise leaders and dance leaders, drummers, voice, anything that you are doing in the ministry. When it comes down to worship, they want you to come out. LaRue, LARUE live .eventbrite.com to register, or go to laruelive.com. Don't forget, June 2nd, we have Removing the Mask. For more information, contact Minister Annette at 724-630-8372, 724-630-8372. You don't want to miss this. If you have any type of unforgiveness, anything, Pastor, you want to say something about that really quick?
Well, one thing that we know, unforgiveness, it is the container. It's like acid. But we will touch on much more than just unforgiveness. We want to be whole. Yes. We want to be ready to minister. We want to be ready to be vessels of honor. Therefore, come and be trained. Come and fellowship, and just be able to soak in and learn even from other women who have gone through things.
And I love what she just said, to be whole and just to fellowship and even to know how to minister. Ministers out there, ladies, if you are first ladies, if you are in ministry, please contact us, 407-434-1141. We want to take you to Capitol Grill. We want to talk about those things in ministry and just lay everything on the table. Reserve your space. Join me tonight, Minister Bridget Norvell. I will be at the Working Woman Empower Purpose and Passion Business Network meeting. I will be speaking tonight about your talent, your gift, and your passion. You got to hear this message. God has really laid it out. Well, it's another hour, but you know what? We will see you next week on Women, Wisdom, and the Word. And remember,
you can never overdose on wisdom.
She always smiled through that. She know that's her smile.
Thank you for tuning in to Women, Wisdom, and the Word, a word of wisdom for all aspects of life.
And remember, you can never overdose on wisdom.